Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. Y'all see the thumbnail. Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to. Sorry about that. Jermell Charlo. What's the real play here? Can you figure it out? There's all kinds of plays being going down in this Jermell Charlo Canelo situation. We gonna get into that and much more. But y'all know the drill first. Let's turn to. Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. I know I've been gone the last 2 days, but I told y'all, right now I'm going through changes. A lot of business to take care of. And I'm going to just leave it at that. So much I got to do. So sometimes I can't make it, but my schedule is still my schedule. I haven't given up on my schedule. But anywho, y'all see the thumbnail, Jermell Charlo. What's the real play here? I mean, can you figure it out? I'll be interested to hear what a lot of you think, but y'all know how it goes. I'm going to tell you what I think. But first, let's do what we do every show. It's a water check. Here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we believe water is very important. And we want everybody in the world to make sure that they get their daily inputs of water. Now, I'll tell you whether I made the mark today or not. I definitely made the mark today. There's some days, even now, and y'all know I drink a lot of water, that I don't meet the benchmark. It depends, I guess, on your mood or what you're feeling like that day or whatever. But we advocate that everybody drinks at least 100 ounces of water. We know the formula is half your body weight in ounces of water. That's how much water you should drink a day. However, some people ain't gonna do that. And the more you weigh, like if you weigh 300 pounds, who's drinking 150 ounces of water? Nobody, right? So, well, somebody. I'm gonna say somebody, but not really. It's the probability of somebody drinking that much water a day is slim to none. And there is a such thing as ODing on the water. So be careful out there. But that is the formula. But we say if you're an adult, you should be able to drink a gallon of water a day. And that's 128 ounces of water. So that's why we scale it down a little bit more and say we advocate for at least 100 ounces of water. If you drink your water, you're going to see a difference in your body, in your performance, and your overall health. You're winning at that point. So we say drink your water. Now, we know that some people is not into water like that. They rather have their tea, their coffee, their liquor, or their juice or whatever. So We offer alternatives. It's not that they are secret. They out there. If you're a juice drinker, you just gotta have that juice. Make your own juice. Tastes much better. It really does. Taste. I mean, you can get a bag of grapes and juice all of it, and it'll be the best grape juice you ever had, and it'll be healthy for you. Wouldn't even be. You wouldn't have to worry about the sugar intake. I know a lot of people say you got to worry about sugar, but your body runs off sugar. Your brain runs off sugar. So I know people say, "Oh, it's too much sugar, whatever." But if you're not saying that when they rolling up to the table with pizza and bread and other stuff, then don't say nothing when they drinking like actual real juice. Actual real sugar does not hurt you. It's that processed sugar that hurts you, right? So make your own juice, make your own orange juice. And they got enough devices out there that can make that thing seamless and just real easy to do. If you like coffee, I don't know what to tell you. Far be it for me to mess with somebody in their vice. Because I can tell you now, we all got vices, and it's hard to mess with mine. But they say it only takes 21 days to break a habit. I don't drink coffee. It gives me the shakes. I try not to drink diuretics too. If you're a person with high blood pressure, you should avoid, drinking a lot of diuretics because you can deplete your electrolytes and cause yourself to have a stroke or a heart attack. That's a PSA announcement. So, if you a coffee drinker or whatever, can't help you there. If you are alcoholic or you like liquor, you necessarily might not be an alcoholic, but you like your liquor. Can't really help you there neither. I don't drink liquor, so I will be I can tell you that you should try not to drink, but my words don't mean nothing because I don't even have that problem. I don't understand completely what a person going through who feel the need to have liquor. So I just wish you the best or whatever. But I will say, if you front load water and meet your benchmark of your water intake, and then try to go drink those things that you like to drink, you might find that your body just simply won't prefer it. That it'll be satisfied because you had the daily input of water. But if you're not a water drinker, we say 2 times a day you should drink water. And this should not be substituted. This should be as a matter of fact. That's first thing in the morning before your toes hit the ground. Before you get off into your morning routine, drink you 8 ounces of water. Have it on the nightstand ready for you. If you put it in the fridge and you like trekking down to your fridge every day, hey, do that. If you got like me, a mini fridge in your room, I put my waters in there. I got a water cooler in my room. I thought of all types of ways to drink water. I have a big jug that holds about 100 ounces of water. I fill that joint up in the morning. I sip on that all day. But sometimes I have those days where too much water staring me in the face that I look at that bottle and I say, damn, I got to accomplish that. It's intimidating. So that's when I go to my water cooler. I got 5-ounce cups on top of that. And I pull a cup and I wind up filling the cup up like 5 times. I only need 20 cups to reach my goal. See what I'm saying? So it's however you do it to trick your mind to drinking it. If you drink your water first thing in the morning, your body is like an engine and the water can act as the lube. A lot of work going on. The engine is churning and burning. It's going to help things move in a timely and efficient manner. Same thing at night before you go to bed. Drink your water. When you get out the shower, the American Heart Association agrees you should have water before you go to bed, not drink your water and then right away go to sleep, which people don't do. They lay in the bed, they read something, they look at a program, they might talk on the phone for 30 minutes, but it is that time that you drink your water. And it's going to help your heart, and believe it or not, your body do more work, sleep, in a deep sleep, not a cat nap, in the deep sleep than it does when you're up and about. So that's why I say drink your water. A lot of reads going on, revamping, rebooting, recharging, redirecting, recreating. That's a lot of work. And it's so much work that The average person burns between 900 and 1,000 calories at night in a deep sleep. That's more than you burn in a workout. The average person works out, and I mean a good little workout, is going to burn about 150 calories. You think it's more because it was a good workout. Even a balls to wall workout is about 300 calories. 900 is more, right? So make sure you drink your water to help things speed along in a timely and efficient manner and help keep you flushed out. Sometimes we eat the foods we eat and we feel backed up and swollen and congested and all kinds of things. That food does a number on us. And the best thing I can tell you to do is to drink plenty of water because you dilute the shit and you'll help it be flushed out. So do drink your water. Now that we talked about that, on to some light housekeeping. Please, 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 if you're in here, hit the like and share button. If you've already subscribed, don't hit that button. But if you never subscribe, please hit the button. And when you come in, every time, hit the like and share. Leave a comment, a statement, or a question, especially if you're watching me on replay. Hit me up in my email at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. Hit me up. I actually talk to you guys and I get back with you. And some of the stuff is fun, and some of the stuff I just be like, oh Lord. But I still, I'm a happy camper. I get back with you, and as soon as I can. And then you see, I'm not monetized. I don't know what YouTube doing with my channel, and so I just have to be patient and just be like whatever. But I do have a Cash App, so I would appreciate Cash Apps. I take them in. Boxing Fans Talk TV. That's my Cash App. It goes back to the channel, and I appreciate previous Cash Apps that you want to send now, or future Cash Apps. And my schedule is Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I know I told y'all that here lately, I'm in the process of moving. I got businesses to tend to, and I got a lot of stuff on my plate. So sometimes I can't make it in here. I don't mean to be like that. And I told you I would never come in here if it's nothing to talk about. So sometimes I do miss, like yesterday and the day before yesterday. And I wanted to talk about the, like review of the fights and all this stuff. But I'm like, the sister is working overtime here. So bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. In the process of selling my house is going to take longer than I thought. So y'all just hanging there with me. Now, I see you, Crunch Time TV. What's Papa King? He said, hey, Miss T, I got my I Get Active shirt. Loving it. Oh, look, I want to drop the link specifically for you. And I want to hear what you had to say about it. I got some other shirts coming, y'all. If you want to, can you come in and just tell me about the shirt or whatever, how it fit, how it looks, whatever. I tend to buy most of the stuff that I like, but I like what I like. So I love to hear how somebody else feel about it. Thank you for getting it, and tell me about your experience and how well it went and all that, so everybody can know the shirts are there. Y'all can go get them. Did you get the shirt or the sweater? Crunch Time. So let me see. Because here's the sweater and here's the shirt. And they come in all different colors, sizes, and everything. So you guys, they nice shirts. Now I'm telling you. I'm about to make some Canelo joints for those Canelo lovers. But thank you for getting the shirt. And Patreon, the shop, the digital shop. It's a Gidget and Gadget shop. And because I'm a Gidget and Gadget type person, I one of them people where you walk in my house, I got every gadget. No, I keeps up on that. But I love making these shirts. So thank you for getting that. And I hope you love it and everything. So let's get on with the get-ons. You said, I was lovely at work, so can't get on. I got shirt. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. But sit back and listen. I got a story to tell. So y'all see the thumbnail? I said, "What's the play? Like, what is the play?" I see every. I have a very creative mind, so I see a lot of stuff going on. But before I get into what's the play, let me just rehash this. There are some out there, and I'm talking about the people who write me or something like that. And again, I appreciate what you got to say. I respect all opinions because we all adults and we all are able to have our own opinions, and it's nothing to get mad at or anything. But some of y'all gonna need help. It's like there are some of y'all out there that still cannot accept that defeat that Earl Spence just took. I mean, he took a defeat. He took a wash. He lost. Everything he thought wasn't what he thought. Terrence warned them. Terrence said a lot. You gonna find out like everybody else find out when you get in the ring. Whoop de whoop de whoop. That it ain't sweet like you think it is. So they out here, they searching for answers that's right in front of their face. He got washed. He got beat. That's it. That's all. He got beat. And then they drawing conclusions based on delusional theories. And that is that delusional theory part that's just killing me because I don't think we gonna ever elevate from this. I mean, Derek James, Earl Spence, and Jermell Charlo, that whole camp, and AJ and Ryan, all of them will have to like stop fighting or something for this delusion probably to stop. And I don't recommend that they stop their careers, but the delusion, man, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Especially how you draw a conclusion. And the best thing I can say is I pray for y'all. The more y'all sound delusional, the more bud buddies or people who like the truth about boxing is gonna keep talking about what they talking about. I know they don't want to keep hearing about that fight and getting it rubbed in and this, that, and the other, but y'all need to collectively, or at least 80-20% ratio, get on the same page with true understanding for bud buddies to slow their roll. Y'all are making it so that bud buddies keep talking about. And another thing I want to say, y'all fellas out there who placed a bet on this fight, you need to pay up. Your credibility is on the line. You might not care, but you need to pay up. I don't listen to liars. I don't mess with people who have no credibility at all. I can't even stomach it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? If we would have lost, we would have had to pay you. You wouldn't have seen it no other way. So pay your bets. Please pay your bets. And that's all people who out there not paying, because I've been on other channels just being, a viewer. And you hear the other channel say, oh, this person didn't pay or this person didn't. Pay your bets. Stop being dirty and grimy and selfish. But that's all. That's my soapbox on that one. So now back on Jermell Charlo. I remember when they first started out talking about the Charlo twins. And, if you think about it, they have a good backstory. They twins, for God's sake. They look nice. I know this isn't what a guy would say, but, I'm a woman. I can say this. They are handsome guys. They are. They have nice voices, too. They do. Beautiful smiles. They do. So the optics of it all dictates that they should be in the money. They should be winning, this game called boxing, like making all the monies, making all the good moves, getting the opportunities, Because after all, a lot of stuff is superficial. It is really about what you look like. They got that in the bag secure. A lot of people don't have that. But they got that. One back in the day would be on air while the other one wasn't. Like I think he was on one was on the undercard and the other one was on the card. This is when they had hair, y'all, when they had the braids and stuff. And I bet you I'm gonna tell you a little fact y'all probably didn't know. Miss T was a fan of the Charlos, like for real, like secure fandom before Earl Spence or Bud Crawford. Before I became a fan of either one of them, I was a fan of the Charlos. This is way, way back because I knew. I said, they coming in the right package at the right time, and they talented. Ooh, I want to follow their career. So they had it to lose. Well, we can't say they've grown successfully since way back then, but they have also shot themselves in the foot as well. Can't say they haven't. No telling how much they have lost in this game simply due to their behavior. I can say that with a straight face. Let me tell you, this separate, but kindergarten, you know what the purpose of kindergarten is? It's to create an environment of learning that's conducive for learning, but to make sure the kids have good behavior so that they can learn. You can't teach nothing with somebody that's always like in the bad behavior mode. A kid that's crying all the time, can't sit down when, can't follow orders, can't do. That's the whole purpose of kindergarten. The actual first grade is the first grade. You know what I'm saying? So behavior matters even on that level. Behavior can X you out of a lot of shit. There's a lot of people that might want to throw money at you or be down with you, but your behavior gives them pause. And that's what happened with the Charlos. Maybe they felt like I can act this way, this crazy way where I'm angry all the time, and this gonna buy me viewership and this gonna draw people to me. I can shit on the media. I can throw my hands up at the media. I can maybe even push them around and this, that, and the other. And this gonna make people want to take money out their pocket and spend it towards them. Some people did. And it was your talent. Because if you wasn't talented at all, you would be a thing of the past right now. But it's because you're talented that you still kind of in there. But I just wonder how far could you be without that calculation of bad behavior and saying certain things out your mouth. Now, we right now are on the precipice of Jermell Charlo fighting Canelo Alvarez. Now, I want to go on record and say, I hope Jermell wins. I do, and I'm not a big fan of Jermell anymore. But I hope he wins for his story, for his historical values of it all. Yes, I worked in the field of science all my life. That's what I retired from. However, I have my degree in history. I'm a historian. And I love history, especially Black history. I love that too. Wouldn't it be nice 100 years from now or 50 years from now when all of us are gone and people be like, oh, remember? Like how they talk about Sugar Ray Robinson, how they talk about Joe Louis. You know, Jermell Charlo was the first to blah, 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 blah. You know? We can say that about Terrence. There was two people, I believe, that made undisputed in the four belt era before Terrence, and then it was a long layoff, like 13 years or so, I don't know, or more, and then Terrence made it, And he started a trend because now that he made it, everybody popping up trying to go for it. And I don't say that as a negative. I say that as a good thing because that's what we want, a true boxing fan. And to you casuals who are becoming boxing fans, you want your fighter to go to the Super Bowl. You want them to create a legacy. Yes, it's prize fighting because boxing is an entertainment business. What type? A prize fighting type. They're not just a business; it's an entertainment business. So when boxing start doing things out of the ordinary, like trying to orchestrate a fight with no purse being awarded, that gives me pause. Since when was that the thing to do? Boxers fight and they get a prize at the end, whether they win, lose, or draw. And the prize is money. They get a check. That's how it's always been. That's how it should remain. For the much as they sacrificing, that's what they should get. So we all should collectively be mad at anybody who's trying to change that trajectory. But Jermell Charlo is out there. He's happy he's got that Canelo fight. I'm happy for him. Have we ever heard them trying to get the Canelo fight in the past? Yeah, we have. Could you blame any boxer for going for the Canelo fight? No, you can't. But again, people, we got to get out our feelings. And that's what my channel sometimes try to talk about things is we might have our feelings, but our feelings don't matter in the end of the day. It doesn't triumph over truth. It doesn't negate the truth. It doesn't negate the rules. I can feel however I want to feel, but the rules are the rules. And as long as I know the rules were not made specifically for me, like I didn't come on the scene and they said, you know what, let's put pen to paper and make these rules up for T. And then we're going to make everybody follow them. As long as I know it wasn't like that, then how do you get mad at what a rule is? You can't get mad. And you hear a lot of that going on with Jermell Charlo. So I thought I would start off by talking about rules. And I'm going to come full circle as to what the play is. Because it's a good play. Like even in this worst, it's at its best. It's a good play now. So look, let me go ahead so I can see it. I'm gonna skip through this. I'm gonna read some of it, but I'm in some parts I'm gonna skip. But hopefully you can see it. This is the WBO rules. This is section 5. Any of you can type in Google WBO rules. It will bring it up. You can come up and see all the sections. Go to section 5. Defense of the title. I brought this up before. I've shown this before to explain why Bud took the fight with David Avanese. Why people still living on that shit. Okay, which I don't understand. So I'm going to read it. Each WBO champion except in the heavyweight division shall defend his title at intervals not greater than 9 months. Stop right there. You hear what it said? Each WBO world champion, Jermell Charlo, Bud Crawford, NUA, or whoever else is out there, Canelo, each. Now, whether the WBO give you a solid or give you a break or don't follow their rules, that's another thing. That ain't promised to nobody. That ain't something you can bank on or be like, yeah, we counting on them not to hold us accountable to the rules. You can't. You got to go by the rules. Each WBO champion, except in the heavyweight division, shall defend his title at intervals no greater than 9 months, counting from the date of the acquisition thereof or from the last compulsory defense as the case may be, in a 12-round fight against the mandatory challenger, as determined by the championship committee according to these regulations, unless an exception is made pursuant to these regulations. For reasons unique to the heavyweight division, the WBO world champion in the heavyweight division shall defend his title at intervals no greater than 12 months counting from the date of acquisition thereof or from the last compulsory defense, as the case may be, in a 12-round fight against the mandatory challenger as determined by the championship committee according to these regulations, unless an exception is made pursuant to these regulations. Boom, that's a mouthful. That's the first paragraph. It tells you everything you need to know. It's telling you what the rules are for everybody who's not a heavyweight, and the rules are for people who are heavyweights. And they basically saying it once you get, and I'm gonna break it down and put my stank on it. Once you get the WBO belt, you got to defend that title every 9 months. And if you're a heavyweight, it's every 12 months. And these will be 12-round fights. And you have to consult with, talk to, be in touch with, make sure y'all, talking back and forth, however you put it, always with the championship committee. You're going to see that thread throughout all their rules. So if you're not talking to the committee, the championship committee, then you're doing wrong. You're doing wrong. And you're going to catch that fade that they got to throw because you ain't talking to them. And they feel a certain way about that. So that's my stink on it. B, in the interim period, the world champion may defend the title against any contender classified within the 15 best by World Boxing Organization, always with the approval of the World Championship Committee. There's that World Championship Committee again, meaning you got to talk to, conversate, touch base, email, do something. Be in touch with them because you can't ignore them. You got to touch base with them. But they said within 15, meaning I'm going to put my stank on it. The top 15 ranked in the WBO. So those are people you need to be looking to fight. And you can't just pick one off the tree and say, I'm going to fight this one without going through the World Championship Committee. Got to have approval with them. Yeah, you have some leeway some wiggle room to do what you want, but it's all got to be sanctioned by the World Championship Committee. Let's go to C. The WBO World Championship Committee may, in its discretion, vacate a champion's title, including the heavyweight division, regardless of cause or fault, if the champion fails to defend his title within the 9-month period. Stop right there. This was the problem that Terrence Crawford was going to have last year when negotiating with PBC, while Earl Spence on the leak conversation that y'all like to ignore. This where the delusion comes in when he said January 2023. And Floyd forever going around saying, I am PBC and PBC is me. And we ain't looking to that fight till next quarter. And y'all know Floyd recently came out and said, we didn't want that fight. This is Floyd. Y'all can't prove what he's saying is wrong. In fact, everything that he says when in regards to PBC comes out true. Al Heyman is not a promoter. He's an advisor. There's a difference. He's not beholden to promoter laws and regulation. He's a manager. He's an advisor. So he got a lot of carte blanche. Even Al in his term sheets that he was sending to Terrence said last year. So you had Floyd, Earl, and Al all saying 2023 while they was negotiating in 2022. Mind you, Bud didn't even have a fight that whole year waiting on trying to get him and Spence fight together. So what do this rule tell you? Let me read it again. in its discretion, they can vacate a champion's title, like take it away from Bud, including a heavyweight division, regardless of cause, regardless of what the fuck you talking about, even if it sound good or fault. Like, maybe you fell out of a plane. Maybe you got hit by a car. They don't give a fuck. They can do what they want if you don't defend that title in 9 months. And I keep saying Bud because this has already happened. But we're going to apply this rule to Charlo. While y'all out there crying about what has happened to Charlo, like he was done a disservice. He hasn't. He hasn't. And I'm not saying that out of hate. I'm reading the rules right here. The decision will be final unless appealed to the grievance committee within 10 days of notification to the champion, as provided for in these rules. A champion so stripped of his title shall be classified using the WBO rating criteria, and he shall be classified in his or her division or in such other weight divisions as the classification committee for good cause determined, provided that he has complied with the WBO ABC rating criteria. You got to talk to them. Remember when Charlo hurt his hand recently? Charlo made a good point. Hey, and he just said it. He said, the reason why it took so long, while we had a date of January 28th for the Al fight, is because we was waiting on Tim Tszyu, who hurt himself. I didn't know that. That's good information to know. And they was patient. They were like, okay, we're going to give you time. I never understood, because that gave me pause. When they made the fight that Tim Tszyu and Jermell Charlo was going to have for January 28th, they made it in the summer. They decided that shit like in the summer, so many months out. And I was like, huh? Why so long? And then Charlo hurt his hand. He says it's a legit, and I believe him, because they turn around and accept what he had to show him, because they didn't take the belt from him in January. But Charlo came out, thought he had the clout, I guess, as Earl Spence or PBC, and he showed, I hurt my hand. This is what the doctor said. I think he tried to show some proof, but it wasn't formal proof. It wasn't good enough for the WBO. Remember, the WBO had to chastise him in public and say, hey, you got to January 5th to come show us proof, or else. You know what that tells you? We can't be ignorant to the fact Charlo must do not communicate with them. He must don't have a pleasant rapport where he communicating with them with everything. If the WBO or these belts are that damn strict, I'm going to be emailing every move I fucking make with them to make sure I'm in the good. I'm going to be touching base, but Charlo wasn't doing that. And that's why they had to get kind of funky with him. So let's go to D. No WBO champion may hold WBO titles in more than one weight division. You hear that? Stop right there. Let's read that again. No WBO champion may hold WBO titles in more than one weight division. You can't get mad. Y'all can't say foul play. This is their rules. This is their rules. Go for Bud too. But Bud knows the rules. He talks to them. Can't hold a WBO championship in 2 divisions. If that's what Charlo wanted to do, go up there, get the undisputed at 68, while at the same time being undisputed at 54, can't do it. You can't be undisputed without all 4 belts, and the WBO don't allow you to hold 2 belts in 2 different weight classes. They just don't. If a WBO champion wins a WBO championship in a higher or lower division, the WBO champion shall have 10 days to determine which weight division the WBO champion will retain. The other weight division will be declared vacant. So he at least could do it and have 10 days of glory and all that. But Charlo didn't even qualify for that. We'll get into that later as to why he didn't get that little privilege right there. He didn't get it. Again, chalk it up to him not talk, because we ain't with him. We don't know. And I tell you, I don't know. I'm not with him. But it's evidently clear to me, you're not talking to them. If you was talking to them and y'all had a pleasant rapport, maybe they wouldn't hold your feet to the fire like they do. E, in any circumstance in which the mandatory defense does not occur within the designated time period, the World Championship Committee may order an interim championship between contenders determined by the World Championship Committee. Now, the reason why I think it's a problem, why he don't even get that little reprieve or privilege of going up there, fight Canelo, win the fight, hold it, become undisputed at that weight class at the same time, simultaneously being undisputed at 154, even if it's 10 days. The reason why Jermell Charlo is not getting that reprieve is because, again, the lack of communication he has with the WBO. But he already was slated to handle the business of Tim Tszyu. Let me say that again. He was already slated to handle business with Tim Tszyu. You cannot be that far committed into it only to throw that person off. You can't be, because remember, they actually had a fight planned, an actual date. When Charlo hurt his hand, it was supposed to be postponed. And that means no matter where Charlo go and what he do, he has to handle that business first. That was already slated. And plus, you didn't go one up, one down like it's been saying throughout this thing. You're going two up. So it's like, it's not necessary. It is good for your legacy. But you know who get those type of privileges? Super champions. We're going to talk about that one too. Because it matters. Jermell Charlo is not a super champion. And that matters. They, in this part, they talk about designation of mandatory challenges. What makes a mandatory challenger? Y'all can read that. We don't need that rehash that part. I mean, but whatever, they WBO, like any other sanctioning body, ranks their challengers. Unification bouts, unification tournaments, mandatory title bouts. They talk about the wiggle room they give for unification bouts. And when they talk about unification, they could be talking about undisputed. They give a little leeway. The World Championship Committee has the power and authority to sanction a unification bout or participation in a unification tournament as a mandatory title bout. So they basically saying, you know what, if you're going up for a unification bout, i.e. undisputed bout, we can make that your mandatory challenge. A unification bout is a championship bout with the champion of another world sanctioning organization recognized by the WBO, including all the other belts. A unification tournament is a tournament of single elimination bouts involving 4 champions or top contenders of 2 or more WBO recognized world sanctioning organizations. So basically, in a nutshell, they're just saying, look, we can grant you an extension of your mandatory obligations to allow you to participate in this unification tournament and this, that, and other. We can make that participation. We can make Canelo your mandatory. But who gonna get to do that? Who is we can make? Who is these we people? That's that World Boxing Organization Championship Committee. If you're not talking to them and keeping them in the know and telling them first time you find out shit, they not gonna work with you. You're not working with them. And then they talk about the criteria to maintain rating as a classified fighter. We don't need to go into that. Voluntary defenses, compulsory defenses. Let me see. So look, within the 60 days prior to the date of the compulsory defense, no world champion shall sign a contract for the defense of his title, nor defend it against a boxer other than the mandatory challenger. Now, even though they're not fighting Canelo and Jermell for his belts, he's fighting for Canelo's. It's all in the same wheelhouse. They basically saying you can't enter a contract within 60 days from what you're supposed to do. Now we know, as Charlo keeps saying, man, the opportunity came across my desk. I just had to jump on it. That's what's going on. Like, so it won't like they was telling him this last year. He was already in obligation mode to fight Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu has fought and that ain't even the word. Tim Tszyu has fought Harris, Tony Harris, and didn't he fight somebody else? Waiting on Charlo. Tim Tszyu has a legitimate claim. So they talk about, they will go into purse bid. When people saying what's how you break down the percentage and the split, that shit is in writing right here, all up in here. How they break down, you see, it's already determined. While we out here crying over who should get what. So I'm going down because I want to get to super champions. Oh, this is the best part. It is the policy of the World Boxing Organization to encourage its champions to pursue recognized status as an undisputed world champion and to unify the championships of the four major world sanctioning organizations. A world champion who has achieved preeminent status may require and be entitled to additional scheduling flexibility to achieve his place in boxing history and for the good of the sport. A boxer may be considered for designation for super champion status when he meets the following criteria. What's so good about being a super champion? I'll tell you. The scheduling flexibility. That's what they're entitled to. Means you can say no, 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 no. You can say yes, yes. No, yes, no, yes. You can, however you like. You can go up 2 weight classes and fight Canelo and tell everybody, cool your heels. I'll be back. I'll be back. You can do that. Scheduling flexibility. One of the best privileges of being a super champion. The boxer presently or previously has had a multiple bout contract with a major television network. These are some of the criteria that makes you a super champion. If the boxer can prove they've been with Showtime, HBO, they got a network to mess with. As a WBO champion, these are 3. The boxer has successfully defended his title cumulatively a minimum of 10 title bouts. This does not speak to Jermell Charlo. He hasn't defended his titles once. So no, he don't meet the criteria there. In the event of less than 10 successful defenses, has defended his or her title against opponents of high recognition and skills. And, and I guess they dropped that off. And so they'll go right into C and has substantially met the other standards set forth herein. None of the criteria applies to him. As I said, he hasn't successfully defended his title once. It's not a hit. It's a fact. The boxer's amateur history can be considered. The quality of prospective super champions' record, including the quality of his opponents in their records, can be considered. And this is additionally, the following factors will be considered in determining super champion designation. If the prospective super champion has been a WBO world champion in more than one weight division, that isn't applicable to Jermell Charlo. He's only fought really at 154. If he fought somewhere else, I don't remember him being champion. If the prospective super champion has held more than one championship of the 4 major world sanctioning organizations, or if the prospective super champion has unified the championships of more than one of the 4 major world sanctioning bodies. Now, those 2 can fall under, but you got to qualify all the way through. Current champion status is not required to qualify or continue as a super champion. Championship committee may recommend super champion status for a boxer to the executive committee if a boxer has substantially complied with the conditions set forth herein And you know how they say substantially complied? If you're not talking to them, you're not complying. They don't know you complying. Super champion status shall be determined by the vote of the executive committee. Again, you ain't talking to them. How they voting for what? Privileges afforded super champions. Those fighters recommended by the championship committee, they got to be recommended by the committee and approved by the executive committee, qualify for the following rights and privileges. The championship committee may extend a super champion's mandatory title. There you go. If he was a super champion, he could extend his mandatory, i.e. Tim Tszyu, title defense for good cause shown one or more times beyond the time provided for in the WBO regulation of the World Championship contest for the purpose of giving the super champion opportunities to unify the titles of more than one major sanctioning body, either in a unification bout or a unification tournament or any other important match or matches that the committee determines will contribute to the super champion's legacy or will be of great interest to the boxing fans. This fight is fall right in that. It really just falls right in what I just read. But if he was a super champion, he could do that with ease, and he could say, cool your heels, I'll be back. Then they talk about, y'all can read this, section 5 and 6. Go through 7. They even tell you, I showed you the 9-month intervals. This is why Bud had to take a fight in 2022 or risk being stripped. WBO seem like they don't play. And they're not going to play with Charlo. But if Charlo was talking to them and stuff and making sure he complied with what they saying and not treating them like a wet food stamp or like they don't matter, maybe, just maybe, he would have got a reprieve. He'd have got something he wanted. But I just wanted to show that because you get a lot of people that act like they don't understand why things are going the way they're going. And because you may be a Terrence Crawford fan, so therefore, or you don't like PBC or you don't like Earl or whatever, and this is why people getting treated the way they're getting treated or people doing what they're doing to them. Jerry Tasker is in the building with Papa King. He said, none of that means anything. Sanctioning bodies make their own rules. They want Tszyu to have the belt because he is a huge draw in Australia. Jerry, if you had listened to anything that I just said, I just read off the rules of the WBO. It's not T rules. If you saying none of that means anything, so I'm trying to be diplomatic a little, Jerry, because I don't know what your argument for what I just did is, but if you think about it, it don't matter what we feel or what we say. You're right. It matters what those rules say. And that's what Charlo find himself in the predicament. He ain't complying with rules or he not talking to them. He not doing something. Why they sticking it to him? They not sticking it to him. They treating him, they holding his feet to the fire like they would anybody else. As I said, if Bud didn't take that fight last year with David Avenese, they would have stripped him. We don't know that for sure, but they would have been within their rights to do it. And that's all. You don't want to be in that predicament. Sariat Yah Israel in the building. What's popping? He said shalom. What's popping, King? What about the 10-pound rehydration rule? You still on that, Jerry. We showed you that rule. You wrong. You still on that. That was a rule. And if you was listening, Jerry, because you late, I'm the one that always tell you, people do what they want. Namaste is business. It's how business go. You can't blah, blah, blah. They do what they want in the end, Jerry. I'm trying not to jump to conclusions with you, Jerry, because I don't know what did I say that was contrary. You're playing antagonist, and I personally don't want to play today. I don't want to play antagonist today. But I told you from the jump, those are the rules. That's the rules they hanging on them. Jermell and is acting like, why are they doing this to me? but most importantly, his fans are. And then when you call them on that, they getting upset. And it was like, no, I wanted y'all to see the rules. And Jermell got himself caught up in the rules. When you took that WBO belt, you promised that you will follow their rules. If you don't follow their rules, they can take their belt back. So if it's true that Jermell has been stripped of his belt, as of today, he's not an undisputed champion. But we do know once undisputed, always, just like once a champion, always a champion. When it's supposed to be that when Jermell brings out his belts, he can't flaunt the WBO belt around because currently he is not the undisputed champion at 154 if the belt was stripped from him. I'm just going by the news. That's all, y'all. ATX Slab Light Cletus, a.k.a. Big Texas, is in the building. What's popping, King? Said, what's popping? He said, salute, Miss T. Okay, Jerry, you said they do what they want to follow the money, not to lose it. 10-pound rule is not in effect unless they want to. Tell me one fighter who has been stripped because of that rehydration. Sometimes, Jerry, I'm being calm because I'm being, I really got to ask you, was this conversation about rehydration? Because maybe I don't know what I said out of my mouth. Maybe everything I was reading just now, was I talking about any rehydration? You just want to argue? Let me know, Jerry. Because I don't know what point you trying to make. But I'll continue with my monologue. So for those of you, like I said, who feel like Jermell Charlo is being done wrong, he's not being done wrong. I just showed y'all the rules that he is obliged to follow. And that's all that's going on. They could do Terrence Crawford like that. They could do anybody like that. They could do Canelo. But as we see, again, people do what they want. Yeah, you can't. If, like, for me, I'll tell you like this, as a black person especially, you can't always think the rules are made for you and that you're going to get equal use of those rules. Like the stand your ground law. We just seen people get off on that stand your ground shit. Right? It's a law. It's on the books. And people use it to their advantage. Let's talk about the famous one, Trayvon Martin. George Zimmerman got away with murder. And he did it on purpose. And ain't nobody gonna convince me of it being any different. He did that shit on purpose. Where did it happen? In the great state of Florida. But what about that black girl who's used to getting her ass beat by her black husband? And he was coming in for her, and she was scared for her life. And this time she armed herself and she shot up in the air. And that same district attorney that had to work around or be on in some kind of way, form or fashion, the George Zimmerman joint, was in on her shit too. And you know what they did to the black girl? They gave her 20 years. They gave her 20 years. Now, I think she's out now. Somebody gave her clemency or they overturned her conviction. Something happened. She's not in jail no more. Thank God. But here's a woman who was truly a victim. And she didn't even try to kill him. So the message that we kind of was left with, should she have killed him? She shot in the air to make him get some act right, and it worked. She didn't get her ass whooped. He stopped in his tracks. But because she did that in a tay-to-tay, she was having an altercation with somebody, and she brought the gun into the mix of the situation. They gave her 20 years. They didn't give a fuck. But George Zimmerman, white ass, he got clean the fuck off. Now, if anybody wants to say, no, he's really Asian, he's white. He got cleaned the fuck off. And he was celebrated by a lot of white people. He got cash, GoFundMe page, all that shit. That whole trial, I watched that whole trial. That trial was bullshit. But he got off. And this is the same state with the same DA or whatever the fuck she is, giving two different verdicts or punishing people differently for the same law. I know a lot of black people wasn't surprised, because if you think you in America and you're a black person and you think you're going to get the same fairness down the pipe, sometimes you can. Most times you can. But if you really want to look at it realistically, you're not. What about that white guy, I think in California, that raped that girl in the bushes or some shit? And he got off for affluent or something. Whatever the fuck that was. Oh, you gonna ruin his daddy. Oh, you gonna ruin the boy's life for a stupid mistake he made. Yes, nigga, we're gonna ruin his life. He raped a white girl. He should have got time just like black men and Asian men and other men who rape get. But that white skin is a motherfucker, right? And I'm not trying to race bait, but what I'm trying to prove the point that yes, you can have rules. And yes, you can be a person who catch favor where they don't hold your feet to the fire per se, to the rules, where they skate the rules for you. But you can't bank on that shit. And if you're a black man, you definitely should know better. That's what I'm saying. I ain't race baiting. Some that might be hearing this don't feel that I'm race baiting, because I'm not. Black people live with this every day. We know better. There's certain things I will never do, because I will never think that I'm going to catch favor. Susie might have caught favor, and I'm happy for Susie. I ain't hating on Susie, but I ain't going to catch no favor. So I'm not going to even push that envelope. He said, just looking for clarity. My point is, when it comes to sanctioning bodies, the rules don't mean much. They will change them for the money in a heartbeat. Well, Jerry, if you sit back and listen, that's why I was trying to be patient with you. You're going to hear what I'm trying to say, because the beginning, my thumbnail said, what's the real play? I could see all kinds of plays. So now I'm going to tell y'all that Jermell Charlo has qualities. He's arrogant. Sometimes people got to be arrogant. I'm sure a lot of us are arrogant. I'm arrogant about shit that I know. But I'm respectfully arrogant. I'm not mean arrogant. I'm respectfully. But some people just don't like arrogant people. So it don't matter if you say it respectfully or if you're doing it pleasantly, it's still going to leave a bad taste in somebody's mouth. Then you got, he's conceited. Me personally, I don't fuck with conceited people. I don't know, because they think the world revolves around them. But in this boxing, you have to have some little bit of conceitness, and you have to have bravado. You have to have ego, and you have to have pride. You, as a boxer, just got to find a healthy balance for it. So to me, it's allowed. I'm not harping on that too hard in this arena, because conceitedness in everyday life, just hanging around, get the fuck from around me. But in boxing, it's necessary sometimes. You got to be. If you're not conceited about you, who will be? One thing I don't like, and I think a lot of us don't like, is the sense of entitlement. We got a whole generation of children that really walk around this earth thinking they're entitled to everything. They spoil as hell. It's not cool. A lot of lessons get missed. A lot of lessons don't get learned. And so your behavior doesn't change for the better when you walk around with a sense of entitlement. and you get hurt, you'll get your moment. But your parents hope that they can teach you that moment before the world teach you, because the world ain't gonna have sympathy. And then I would say this, and I just believe it. Jermell Charlo is a certified hater. He has shown on many times to be a hater. He really is. I can't even say that about Earl Spence. I can't even say Earl Spence is a certified hater. Earl Spence has hated at times, but not enough for me to call him a hater. Jermell Charlo do. I'm, there's an old saying: imitation, imitation is how it go? Something about flattery. Imitation is the best form of flattery that a person could give you. And Jermell Charlo, you imitate shit about Terrence Crawford at the same time. Take away stuff. Like if you listen to him when like case in point, y'all seen the epilogue. Harden, the basketball player, just asked the question. He didn't seem like he was. I could barely hear him ask the question. Serrier said niggas got life for a 20 sack. Yeah. So Harden asked Jermell a question. Look at his facial expression. Like he was angry about what? I already did what them motherfuckers doing. You know? I'm undisputed at 154. Like, fuck you mean? Them niggas ain't on my level. I'm going up to fight. Now, how is that possible? How is that possible? That's straight cap and hate. Terrence Crawford was undisputed at 140, but you never gave him credit for it. He ain't fighting nobody, remember? Ndongo won't shit, remember? Never mind, Terrence Crawford got. Ndongo had 2 belts and Terrence Crawford had 2. They came together and Terrence Crawford won. Bona fide, certified, undisputed. He made the list. He made the cut. But if you listen to Jermell, Terrence Crawford ain't make it. He made it. If you go back, even before Earl and Terrence fought, go back a couple of years when he talk about him. Shut up, be humble, learn to get in line, take your time, take less for a change, be a challenger. Do you recommend that for yourself, Jermell? Is that what people should say to you, Jermell? Is that how you feel about yourself, Jermell? As you telling Terrence this, you're talking to an undisputed champion. Because once undisputed, you're undisputed. Just like once you're a champion, you're a champion. So even with WBO stripping Jermell Charlo of his belt, he's still a champion. He's still undisputed. He'll be known as an undisputed champ for life. It is what it is. You just got to get there, right? But that's what we do to undisputed champions. Shut up, be humble, get in line, be a challenger, take less for a change. Yeah, because that's what you believe for yourself. We all know that Jermell Charlo don't believe that for himself. But he believed it for Terrence. Why? With all those accolades that Terrence had. Oh, we can't count those. It was only at the welterweight division. You know, people argued. He was one of them. Couldn't understand why he wasn't on the pound for pound. It's easy to understand. It's your behavior. As I said it early in my broadcast, that his behavior probably lost him some things, him and his brother. You know what I'm saying? And we learned about behavior, like I told y'all, kindergarten. That is the place where that's the whole purpose of kindergarten, is to get the behavior conducive for a learning environment. So when they start first grade, which is the first grade of what they call a secondary school, you don't have to have no problems in the classroom because of behavior. If we teaching this to little kids, 5-year-olds, Here he is, a grown man, and got a behavior problem. So nobody was pressed to put you on there pound for pound. But your pound for pound mean the world, but his don't mean shit. Earl Spence and Crawford won't doing nothing compared to you, right? Even though Terrence Crawford yet again was making history. If Earl would have won, it would have meant everything. Just as big as what if Terrence won. It still would have meant something. Terrence a little more because he would have been the first male. The first. Jack Johnson didn't do it. Joe Louis didn't do it. Sugar Ray Robinson didn't do it. All these great fighters, I can go on and on and on, even up to now. The great TBE, Floyd Mayweather himself, didn't do it. He would have been the first man to become undisputed in a single career in 2 different weight classes. And Jermell Charlo said that shit ain't nothing. But when he goes up and do it, it's something, right? It's going to be something. Then, of course, he's maintaining his composure. He's on his best behavior with this Canelo thing. Why? Because he respects Canelo. He going to give Canelo his props. It's the money. He, too, I said when Terrence and Earl was fighting that Earl is cashing out. I'm going to say fucking Jermell is, too. Jermell is watching every word he says, just like Bud and Earl had to watch every word they were saying leading up to the fight. First, he was like, yeah, I'm coming back. I'm sitting at my throne. Then you hear him say something like, yeah, I won't Terrence Crawford. I want to fight. He can meet wherever I'm at, wherever we be at the time. If he still box, dude, you know where the fuck he want to meet you at. And that's at 154. The fuck you mean wherever you are? Nigga, you going to be at 154. If you were complying and talking with the WBO, maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't be bothering you about your fucking belts. You have never defended your belts, not once, to my knowledge. Am I wrong? You never defended them, not once. That ain't a hit against you. I'm just saying you have never made a defense of your titles. So you're not a super champion. Can't be a super champion and can't get no wiggle room like a super champion can. Bud, on the other hand, is. Bud is. So Bud, it would appear that Bud is getting special treatment from the WBO whenever he make the moves he make. But he not. But here's the play, y'all. And I give it up to PBC for this one. So if PBC wanted to grease some palms or get to talking on his behalf or whatever, they could have. There is enough power brokers in this whole setup where they could have told the WBO, just chill. Like Jerry said, they do what they want to do. Just chill for the money. Just chill. But what if PBC is thinking they want the leverage with Crawford? Because right now, the Crawford only has one fight deal with PBC. It's in the 2-fighter, though. It's one deal, but it's in the 2-fighter. Meaning he fought Spence, got that one out the way, and Spence is allowed a rematch. Shall he take it? That's 2 fights that will be going down with the PBC banner. If Bud want to come back to PBC, then he coming back for Charlo. And I'm going to tell you, just as big as this Canelo fight could be with Jermell, that Bud fight can be with Bud and Charlo can be a big fight. Probably bigger than Canelo's and Jermell's, or probably bigger than Earl's and Bud, because the animosity between Bud and him Whew. Boy, you talking about soap opera. That shit gonna be big. But if PBC is saying, you know what, we're not gonna save him, go on and take his belt. Technically, right here today, as of today, he is not the undisputed. He is not the current undisputed champion at 154. He's the unified champion, correct? He goes up and he fights Canelo. Let's say he wins. He becomes undisputed champion for the second time in his career, just like Bud, in a different weight class. When he come back down, either he fights Tim Tszyu to get his belt back. That makes him 3 times undisputed champion. Do y'all know how bad Charlo want to have a leg up over Bud? Even if Bud goes and fight Tim Tszyu and wait on Charlo to come back down to get his belt, that means both of them are vying for the position to be the first person to become undisputed 3 times in one career. Y'all don't see that play? I see it. Even if it's the bad thing, because people say, why are you happy? Or whatever. I had a friend ask me, why are you happy that the WPO is doing what they're doing to Charlo? I said, I'm not happy. For historical purposes. Especially being a black woman, I would love to say Jermell Charlo and Bud Crawford, both in one career, one undisputed in 2 different weight classes in one career. It's never been done before. Bud was the first, Jermell was the second, both of them black. Come on now, you don't think that would be a part of black history 50-some, 100 years later? Yeah, I love science, but I got my degrees in history. I'm a historian at heart. I would love for the history books to read that way. But I think Jermell could have beat Tim Tszyu easy. So them taking the belt from Jermell and probably giving it to Tim Tszyu is nothing. Jermell come back down and take the belt back from him. That's nothing. It also makes Bud have to wait. But Jermell and them should be careful. Y'all know what happened last time when y'all waited till this dude fill out in the weight class. Ain't gonna take Bud long to fill out in it. Y'all should learn y'all lessons. But if he come back there and just fought Tim Tszyu, and let's say Bud had retired, he was like tired of waiting on him, and he retired, then Charlo would be the first man that became undisputed 3 times in a single career. You don't think he want that legacy? And fighting Canelo, we can't, like I said, we can't blame him. That's guaranteed a lot of money. He made a lot of money becoming undisputed. Remember, he got on his private jet that he ordered, to take him home after the fight, him and his family. And he was sitting on the plane and pull up, or he wanted to show his $10 million check that he got right after the fight. Not to mention whatever he got subsequently the years following. Because I'm sure he's still making money off the back end. But this is a definite soap opera. I don't know how it's going to play. I'm confident in Bud Crawford for playing his to the letter. I'm confident that he would do great no matter what happens. No matter what they want to say. But Charlo has an opportunity to have a better, I ain't gonna say legacy, but like he has an opportunity to have just as many accolades as Bud. He has an opportunity. I don't think he's gonna pass Bud. Awards like ESPY, Fighter of the Year shit. He's not gonna get that with that kind of behavior. Ain't nobody giving him that shit. stuff like that, you know. But all in all, a lot of these PBC fans, Spence fans, Charlo fans, if y'all just let go of the delusion and stick with the facts, you'll be okay. One of the Spence fans, he tried to call me up. Bud just did an interview where Bud was talking about the dirtiness of boxing. I see people's thumbnails out there talking about, oh, Bud, Bud finally told the truth. He admitted we was right, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. I don't know how y'all get that from that interview. A lot of us already knew how boxing works. We don't know it like to the letter, like the back of our hand, but we had a gist of it. We knew that networks can give you a budget, and then that promoter goes off and put a fight card together, or sometimes the promoter come up with the budget. We know that can happen. We also know for a fact that Tim Smith said we don't got no money for Bud. And then what happened later on that year? We proceeded to see they ain't had no money because they wouldn't even give him a purse. And they wanted him to take that shit. We know how dirty and grimy it can be. And I'm going to give an example. If Showtime Showtime has dates throughout the calendar year of the fights, the days that they can fight. They work with PBC. There's no law that I'm aware of, well, because PBC got the contract with Showtime, that Showtime can't offer somebody else a contract. I don't know that. Maybe somebody could clue me into that, but I'm not aware of once Showtime sign a contract with PBC that they can't offer fights to other people too. I don't know that. And the reason why I say it like that, because ESPN, the biggest sport network in America, over here on the western side, they can show anybody that they want. Any network can show anything that they want. But if Showtime is beholden to PBC, they got these dates. They could go to PBC and say, hey, put on the card on March 15th. And usually it goes down on a Saturday, not an absolute, but it goes down on Saturdays. And then Showtime has a budget for that date. And Showtime can say, well, here's $30 million. Go make it happen. Meaning PBC, go put the fight card together from the first fights that's happening in the afternoon all the way up to the last 4 fights that's going to be on TV. Decide whether or not it's pay-per-view. Get your production. Pay for the production of it all. Pay for the people who's building the ring. Pay for the camera crews who's coming through, the concessions, the venue. Pay for all that shit. Now, if Showtime gave them a budget of $30 million, then Al is going to take that money. He's going to go put all that shit together. But guess what? To pay all the fighters and all that stuff I just named might come up to between $5 and $7 million to give the main and the co-main purse along with everybody else purse, and the production and the camera crews and the ring built up and everything, the venue, all that stuff may cost between $5 and $7 million. Okay? Let's say it was $5 million. What other $25 million going in Al Heyman's pocket? I think that's what Terrence Crawford was alluding to. Now, do I know the inner workings to the letter, to the T of how it works? No, but I know just enough because we only told what they want to tell us. Sometimes Showtime be like, we can offer you this date, but we don't have a budget for you. You got to come up with the money, Al. Sometimes it can be like that. Now, Al had all them investors. So he got to dig in the coffers and figure out how much he going to spend and how, whatever. And they're going to make their money on the back end from the gate, from the pay-per-view, from the whatevers. Hence, Al Heyman putting on pay-per-view events last year when they know they shouldn't have been pay-per-view events. But that's the only way that people was going to get paid because Al didn't have no money. Or at least he say he didn't have no money. He ain't had no money that he wanted to give them. That's how it can be that way too. Terrence Crawford was hollering about transparency. Errol Spence, I think he got a lesson in transparency when him and Bud Crawford sat there and did this deal. Hence, man, I feel like I've been getting played. He won't talk about Bud. He was talking about the whole business of it all. He and to, you know, and again, I can't say that 100%. It's what I speculate. It's what I think. Why do I think that? Because he went out and hired another manager or a management company. I thought Al Heyman was your manager. But Earl Spence did that, and y'all all know that. So Terrence and him sat down with Earl's new management and Terrence lawyers and Terrence and Earl, and they hashed out what they wanted. Then they took it to Al Heyman and said, make it happen. What did Floyd come out recently and say? He didn't even want that fight. He didn't even want it to go down. Sariat said, laugh out loud, it would be career defining if we can get back-to-back undisputed fights. Yeah. Tay is in the building, was popping king. He said, I said Terrence not beating a prime Errol Spence and was called an Errol-sexual. These Bud fans is getting crazy. Shut up, Tay. Now I had called the fight my prediction. I keep saying it. I do want Jermell to win, just for him. It's a good move for him. I would like to see him win. Just as Canelo fans would like to see him win. Jermell has never fought in that weight class. Never mind if you walk around in it. He's never really fought in that weight class. So he doesn't know how his reaction, agility, instincts, and all that stuff going to play out. He said he carries his power. Maybe he do, maybe he don't. But he really don't know how all of that's going to transpire under the lights. So that's another thing, too. When you get under the lights, that affected Earl, too. Earl can't use it as an excuse. But Floyd was notorious for saying that. Yeah, you can talk all your shit. Yeah, you big, brave, and everything, but we're going to see how you are under them lights. And I think under them lights, Earl Spence is the one that got nervous. He had nervous energy. He wasn't off, like, dehydrated and shit. I done watched that fight like 4 or 5 times. The nigga was fighting the whole time. It's just how he was fighting. It didn't work. Tay said, I said, may not Errol Spence. My bad. But now, Jermell never fought at that weight. Advantage Canelo. Because Canelo has. And became undisputed. The same flaws that Earl has, some of the things, I'll just name a few. Wide-legged stance. Being out of position because he lunging. And then you're trying to fight. Jermell has a unique problem. Sometimes he's an emotional fighter. You can't be that way with Canelo. Canelo is an excellent fighter. So that'll be an advantage to Canelo. Advantage to Charlo would be the fact that Canelo walks in quicksand when he fighting. He don't move his feet. And even though Jermell don't have the proper stance or position, a lot of times he does move around. If he can get Canelo to pick his big feet up, he'll have something. Canelo has always had a problem with boxers, complete boxers. While, Derek James and team shit on complete boxers like they not nothing. He know they something now. I got a feeling that Jermell will try to be a boxer owner. Why can Jermell do this? Because Jermell wasn't always with Derek James. he used to train with Rodney Shields. And Rodney Shields is about that boxing. Muscle memory. He can recall it. And the guy he trained with from the Dominican, that dude is about boxing. So Jermell can channel his boxing skills and box. And when he think he got you hurt, he gonna come in and fight you. But if Canelo hits him, whoever, they gonna have to get each other respect by the power shot. If Jermell can take his power, Jermell gonna shine on him. If his power proved to be a little much for Jermell can take his time and just try to outbox him. That's all you got to do. Canelo just got to be Canelo. From the waist up, he's an excellent boxer. But we know boxing, the jewels of boxing is in your legs and feet position. So if Jermell box him and make him pick his feet up by turning him on angles, getting off the line, the same shit we said about Terrence and Errol. I said, make Errol pick his big feet up. And that's what Terrence did. Gave him angles, turn them well, could hit inside and outside, was quicker, speed, accuracy. All the tenements of boxing skills. Fuck Errol Spence up. Errol Spence needed a stationary target. And Terrence didn't give him that. And that's what Jermell better not do with Canelo, or he lost. Because he give him a stationary target, Canelo gonna wreck shop. Now I know a lot of people like to say, this is a 50-50 fight. That's what they wanted to say about Earl. Now secretly, I will tell y'all this. I said, yeah, I never protested against that notion. I never said nothing, but I always thought it was 80-20 for Earl and Bud. Because I told y'all, it was going to be the skills. Sariel said he would be at his natural weight strength. I don't know. He might. And I would say this too. At first, I was like, depending on how Charlo adds the weight. Because that's a difference too. Now, a lot of guys in general, a lot of people in America have a problem with obesity. America is obese as a whole. It don't take many pounds. 20, 25 pounds, you can be considered obese by a doctor. So we have this problem in America, right? It's hard for women to hide their shit. Because we're expected to be very thin, small waisted, small everywhere, whatever. Just fat in the places that count, like your butt, maybe your breasts, whatever, or curves. But men, you see a lot of men who be fat and go to the gym and lift weights and try to muscle up their fat. And it looks different. They never really cut. They just tone it up. And they ain't trying to tone, they're trying to muscle it up. But that's what happens when you put muscle over top of fat. If Jermell Charlo was trying to get his weight up, doing it that way, a recipe for disaster. But if Jermell Charlo was just naturally just gaining weight, which he can, I believe, and then he just worked out, like, do his normal workouts and his routines and hone in on his skills and shit, he could cut that fat that he, put on, have all these striations and shit. That would be the better way. Because if he try to lift weights, gain muscle that way, he's going to be slow. And Canelo going to fuck him up. I'm telling you. Sariel said he was slow. Tay said Errol Spence was never on Crawford level. He was supported by PBC matchmaking. Yeah. Errol Spence. Hashtag the real smoke and mirrors. And then he said, not a single PBC fighter that crossed over to top rank has won their fight in this past year. Seems like PBC is overrated. And Sarah, they don't want to hear that. A lot of people, they don't want to hear that because of what came down through Paramount and all that. And just a reiteration of that, Paramount don't have nothing to do with PBC directly. Paramount made a decision for their company and their company alone. Does it affect PBC? Yeah. Yeah, it do. Because the boxer, you are your brand. And you have to showcase your brand. And last time I checked, the PBC does not own a network. So they're relying on the network to showcase their boxers, and boxers relying on PBC to get them on these networks to brand themselves so that so that they can feel compelled or obligated to spend their money towards them. If Paramount says that their boxing section on Showtime didn't cut the mustard and that they're going to cut it, why is people mad and trying to say, look what PBC been doing, blah, blah, blah. They're a day late and dollar short. The decision was made based on last year and the year before last year and the year before that. The decision was made based on those years. It wasn't made based on these years. And people still believe that it's not going to happen. I still get comments, and my personal friends who are big Eurosexuals, they be arguing about the PBC. I mean, I've never seen people such a fanboy over a goddamn promotional company. Better yet, I never understood how you are mad. When I say you and you know who you are out there, how are you mad at somebody choosing an employer? That's like me being mad at the job you got. How does that make you mad? People was actually mad at Bud for signing with Top Rank, but they weren't mad at Devin Haney for doing it. He was daring to be great. It was a great thing. It was understood, but it was no understanding, none whatsoever, for Bud to do what he did by signing with Top Rank. Every fighter picks their employer, and they do it for a reason. Look what happened. For real, Bud and Top Rank, they did each other a solid until Bob didn't. Because then we got the infamous lawsuit. Well, it's just a breach of contract lawsuit. Not a big deal. Bob didn't own up to a part of the contract that he's supposed to. And Terrence is like, by you not honoring that part, but for you not honoring it, I didn't get paid the money I'm owed. So you owe me money. If Bob didn't want to honor that part of the contract and say, well, Terrence, I'm not doing that, but here's your money anyway, I don't think Terrence would have said shit. But Bob didn't want to do it. And therefore, he decided he's not going to pay Terrence. And you can't do that. I don't understand how people don't understand the contracts. I didn't understand how every year for the last couple of years, they was like, he need to leave Top Rank. He just need to leave. How? And do what? Leave Top Rank and go sign with PBC. Through the Muhammad Ali Act, it's a law that they can't court other fighters when they sign with somebody else. So PBC couldn't do it if they wanted to. And Bud would be stupid to sign with another promoter. Because they be getting a cut of 33%. And for a minute, Cameron Duncan was getting 33 and Bob was getting it. And Bud ate that shit with a smile. So some of that shit, that delusional shit, this is what I mean. So I be like, what were y'all really mad at? I always say this too. Attitude reflects leadership. And it's clear to me, the more and more we keep looking at what has turned out here lately, Derrick James is the one who has that attitude, that condescending, adding no value, putting a person down, taking away their accomplishment, making somebody feel like they ain't nothing, arrogant, conceited type attitude. And his fighters follow suit. See, Derek James really believed that Terrence had nothing to offer them. That Earl was gonna be able to wash him. I don't know where he get that from. You would get those same Earl fans who are fans of Devin and would talk about the boxing skill of it all. Hell, they even compliment Shakur Stevens, and Shakur Stevens will tell you he got some of his skills from Terrence. But when it come to Terrence, he don't got no skills. Not better than Earl. There was no major skills looking at Earl. And the best thing they could say is a backhanded compliment. He's fundamentally sound. And I proved the point of isn't every fighter that get in there, because you don't put a fighter in the ring, not even to spar, if they're not fundamentally sound. That's number one. But we definitely can say any elite fighter is fundamentally sound. Charlo just recently said he ain't do nothing spectacular. He ain't do nothing great or whatever. And then that hit, he cheated. The hit behind the head. What is you talking about? He didn't hit him behind the head. He hit him on the side. How many fighters get hit near their ears? Behind the ear, in front of the ear, on the ear? It happens all the time. And yes, you run the risk of your equilibrium being thrown off. The whole point was hit and don't get hit. Don't get caught with that shot. Why did he get caught with that shot? Because he lunged and he got out of position and he was off balance. Whose fault is that? That's his. He needs to learn how to fight in a way that he don't lunge, get off balance, and be out of position. That's boxing 101. Fuck you mean fundamentally sound? And Charlo, you do the same thing. That's why Tony Harris beat you. I never thought that Tony had more power than you, but he can outbox the shit out you. You couldn't compete. Your best bet was to hit him with one good one to knock him out. And that's the only way you win. But you can't straight up outbox him. He's better than you at that. And that shouldn't be the case, because when you was with Rodney, you was boxing. But I see now, you and your brother don't get along well enough to be in the same vicinity on a regular. I get it. But I'm glad you went and got that dude. Then you kind of, you fib a little bit. Well, it's not the end of the world that you lied, but you feel like, I've been had this guy with me. He been with me all along. No, he came when you was about to fight your second fight with Castano. And you've been training all this time without Derek James. But you're going to give Derek the glory, because he the main guy. Saria said, it surely fooled me. I've noticed Shakur used what Terrence taught him in the ring. Yeah. But I'm just saying that in one breath, Saria, they will talk about complete fighters and like it, just like all of us. All of us boxing fans love a complete fighter. All of us boxing fans, for the most part, it's not an absolute, but for the most part, will pick a complete fighter over a boxer puncher or a puncher boxer. You know what I'm saying? We all would, because we know they got more tools in the bag. And then throw insult to injury if that complete boxer has power in both of their hands, like knockout power. You definitely gonna pick them. But for some reason, Earl Spence, Derek James, and Jermell Charlo could not see none of these attributes in Bud. They saw it in Devin, they see it in Shakur, they saw it in other people. They could not see it in Bud. And that's hate. That's why I say he's a certified hater. Like I said, look at what he said in the epilogue. Ain't nobody ask you all that, Jermell. Ain't nobody say you better than them. Ain't nobody say you worse. You now got an opportunity to make history, and I hope you make it. But I will tell you this. At first, I was leaning more to Canelo, because I was like, I don't know how he's going to put on this weight. But Jermell Charlo looks like he on weight now. He looked like he looked like he about 168 now. And we still got what? About 6 weeks? 6 or 7 weeks left before they fight. He got enough time. But Canelo don't seem worried. Canelo is cashing out as well, y'all. Canelo is on his long kiss goodbye. I don't blame him. I don't blame Jermell for going up to Canelo, but I don't cry for Jermell because of the WBO did what they did, because they was using the rules, and they can do that. Like Jerry said, sometimes they don't for the money. Okay, cool, but they chose to use the rules. It be like that sometimes. Sarian said Keyshawn too. Block, block, and with left and still with left in one motion like Bud did Errol. Yeah. Bud Crawford did more parrying than I've ever seen him do. That tells me they worked on it. It don't say that he couldn't do it, or they be like, why his hands be open. He always. I can go back to a earlier fight. I was looking at an earlier fight of Buzz when he was real small, and he had them ugly little braids in his hair, and he had his hands up the same way in the glove. Earl stretches his hands. Bud stretches his hands in his gloves. Somebody try to make hay of that. He said biggest than Nello. Yeah, so if Jermell don't come in emotional and if Jermell box, he might have a chance to win. I really do believe that. If he come in emotional or he come in and he feels Canelo's power and he just scared to get around it, all Canelo got to do is hit him real, real hard. Jermell is gonna drop the plan. He will. If Canelo hit him real hard, real good, and show him that he can really hurt him, like break his arms or something, Jermell's gonna drop the plan and he's gonna turn to fighting, and that's where he'll lose. That's where he will lose. And that's how I see this fight playing out. If Canelo respect him and chill and let him just box, all you gotta do is embarrass Jermell, hit him real hard, smack him around in the face, and then he gonna stop trying to box you. Because from the waist up, Canelo is an awesome boxer. He just, from the waist down, suck. And it's not to say he can't move, but he can break you down. Look what happened to Caleb. If Caleb could have made it to the end of the 12th round doing what he was doing, just by points, and it wouldn't have looked good, it ain't like he watched him, it ain't like he heard him, he would have won. If they was being fair. Fucking Amir Khan was winning before Canelo caught him. Erisland Lara, I don't care what you say, he won that fight with Canelo. And all he did was 1-2 move, 1-2 move. Canelo can't, he's not a boxer like that. It's his legs. His legs fucks that whole complete boxer thing up. And he got a problem with stamina sometimes. You seen what Floyd did? Floyd watched him because he outboxed him. That's what Jermell keys to victory is. That's what he had to do. And I have to believe that he knows how, because he wasn't always with Derrick James and him. And I'm not knocking Derrick James. He has a different style and way that he likes to approach his fights. And it's not a boxing style. It's not a, complete boxer style. He don't have one person in that stable who you can say is an all the way complete boxer. AJ is the closest that come to it. And AJ, he got his own problems. AJ problems was not a trainer problem. AJ problem is an AJ problem. Motherfucking Ryan could be a trainer, could be a him problem. Ryan is lazy. Ryan don't stay committed. Could be he making all this money. He getting all this ass. Ryan fucking who he want to fuck. Beautiful women throwing it at him. I guess he slowed his roll down after the second baby. But how you make a person like that stay focused? That Ryan has a young boy, sense of entitlement, don't know how to get it from the mud type problem. Otherwise, he could be great. Now Ryan know how to box, but when he with Derek, let's see how he fight in his next fight. We know he got power. Joe said, how you said it? Joe said it's true. Joe said it's true. Welcome to the building. He said, hey, new subscribers, just watch all your old Spence Bud live stream vids. How's everybody doing? We doing good. Thanks for coming in. So I tried buying a Bud t-shirt, but the coolest ones are sold out, it looks like. Hey, I'm glad you say that. Not in mine. Look, y'all see this one? Go on and get you. Look at your screen, people. Go on and get you. I Get Active. With Bud coming through the door with Eminem t-shirt. They come in all different colors. Go on and get your sweater. You know the fall coming up. You want your cool sweater. Put on dress down Fridays at your job. They come in all colors. Okay. Look at I got all kinds of stuff. Look at this. It's the Bud collection. I got that sweater, the t-shirt. I got a hoodie that said, this is my era. The lettering is in gray, y'all. That gray go hard. This is my era. On the back, it said, this is my era. On the sleeve, you see a little writing. It said, undisputed. And then I made these shirts a while back. It said, undisputed 2023. Excuse me. I made some for Earl, but he didn't win, so I had to discontinue them. But if you go over to, let me take this down. Head over to axmet51.com. I'm going to put it in the chat. If y'all click this link, you'll go on over to the digital store. Where there's a lot of gadgets and gadgets, but you can find all kinds of t-shirts and stuff in there. Let's see if I got some more types. Get your ladies this. Anywho. Don't y'all think that's cute? Get your ladies this or your daughters this. High-waisted t-shirt with the lips blowing out through its collar. Look at this. Friends, a mirror image. Everything is a process. Very special mirror image. Love is love. Let me see. Can't show you the Earls no more. We got all kinds of stuff over there. Soon we're going to have our collection of Canelos come out too. He said, oh snap, it says sold out on your... No, it's not sold out. Let me see if I can fix it. I don't know why it does that, but it's not sold out. It's some and then let me see. I don't know why it does that. That makes me pissed. I'd be like, I'm going to it right now. Bear with me, y'all. Let me see. Shouldn't say sold out. Going through it. Nope. The sweaters are not, the hoodie's not sold out. Let me look on the next page. Nope. Going through all of them. I got some fun stuff over there, y'all. Y'all should check out the page. Okay, the friend says sold out, but it's not sold out. It's plenty. I see what you're saying. Okay, I'm gonna fix that right now while we online. Hey, look. I wish I'd have put this up here. Damn, hold on. Let me see. I got a cool t-shirt for the Alabama thing. Nah, so I'm gonna fix it right now, sir. What's your name? Joe said it's true. I'm about to fix it right now while you're on here. Thanks for letting me know, because I don't know why it does that. I really don't be having control over that. And I don't know why it does that. Because I go in and I fix it. And I fix it. And it's like every day I got to go in and fix the damn thing. And it shouldn't be like that. Let me see. All right. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, let me see. All right. All right. Okay. I got that one with the when he throw the hat up. Y'all should see that shit. Oh, okay. So let me see. Quantity. Yeah, I don't know why it does that shit. Okay, I just fixed one. Let me see. Which one was you looking for? Like I'm on another page, but I know y'all can still hear me. I'm gonna just go through the two that I know, and I fixed these things. I, this mess right here, boy, I tell you, I don't know. It could be something going on with the supplier. I don't know. I don't think so. But they getting people stuff out to them really, really quick, because they're making it to order. So, and a lot of these are one of a kind, like you be, but they making them to order. So, I done fixed 3 of them already. So bear with me. Man, that suck. No one. Man, I'm pissed. Let me see. Oh yeah, but I'm on the Bud shirt now. Yeah, what the hell? It's an easy fix though. And they not that expensive. So you can have something to commemorate, and you can have something you can. Oh, where's the other one? Let me see. This shirt. Hold on. I got this shirt. Where's the sweater? Oh, let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, see on my thing it's got a whole lot available. So, but then I see where, okay, yeah, I had to go on the other page, and then what in the hell? This is crazy. I think y'all give me a moment to fix this, because I'm sitting up here like, go get your t-shirts. Go get your t-shirts. Maybe they be restocking every so couple of weeks or something. I don't know what that is about. I see a lot of stuff that's saying that. Oh man, well I wish I you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna take a picture of all these cool ass t-shirts I got. Like, they cooler than a fan. I got that one called "Loving Them Buns," hot dog all up in the bun. Hint, hint. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Thank y'all for y'all purchase. I see some of y'all coming through. Um, let's see. Uh, Seat. I'm gonna have to fix that one later. Um, For all my beach lovers out there, I got a cool ass beach nerd shirt. Um, Fixing that right quick. Yeah, I made sure it was a whole lot of them, but it should be fixed now, or at least most of them. Uh, he said you fix it, I can go grab one now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said, "Do people really think Spence is going to be cleared to fight in December?" That's a good question. That's another thing I wanted to mention. I'm speculating. I think, and see, I don't mind saying that because I'm not in his camp. I'm not with him. But I will tell you this. Logic dictates that it has to be this way. If you get a cut in your fight, like an actual cut, not nosebleed, not maybe you sit out a couple of weeks for a nosebleed or mouth bleed. But if you get a cut, I don't think you sit out really. But anyway, if you get a cut, that's a month that you have to sit out before you can fight again. Anything beyond that is big stuff like broken hands, um, broken eye sockets, broken face. But I think Errol Spence did get concussed in his fight with Terrence. Not before, but in his fight with Terrence. I think because he got a 2 month suspension. You don't get that just for a cut. Errol Spence didn't really have a cut. He had bleeding. He was bleeding from his nose. He was bleeding from his eyes, but it wasn't like a cut. He had bleeding in his mouth. He was hurt. He was getting hit real hard in the head. No, so yeah, the shirts are working, you guys. They up and running. Hold on. I wanted to show something. Uh, uh, so hold on. I'm gonna see if I can do this. Let me see. Um, Present. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna try to share something with y'all. Mm. Okay, y'all see all these down the bottom? See, let me see. These. Hold on, it's not. It's not showing. Hold on, let me get that out there. Okay. Okay, damn. Fell down. Hold up. I had it up. Hold up. I'm gonna get it back up. Okay. Y'all see that? That's one of my shirts. Your nutritional facts. They cute little shirts. Like I said, this, the I love this one. Loving them buns. um, Let me see if I got any more. Um, there's a whole lot of fun T-shirts over there. Let's go grab them. He said, "Did y'all see the old New York and New Jersey commissioners saying they wouldn't clear him to fight Larry Hazard and Randy Gordon? That was a good interview with Ringside Reporter." I didn't see that, but I wouldn't blame him though, Joe. I would not blame him because I really do believe the dude got concussed, especially when he was knocking him and he was just off balance. And I think Harvey Doc made a good stoppage because he was off balance. His legs was not under him. We don't want to see him totally destroyed. I want him to enjoy the fruits of his labor, go off and have a good life and do some wonderful things and, spoil your beautiful children, and hopefully they can become something that like lawyers, doctors, or whatever it is that they want to be. Which we know all of that take money, but he just gotta, we want you to have your faculties and enjoy your money. What good is making all this money if you ain't got the mindset to handle all that? You're a sitting target, because I'm sure people will swoop in and gladly take your money up off you. So, fuck, having bravado and all that bullshit. You ain't gotta have all that. Nobody cares, about no damn bravado. Let me see. Which one is this? Okay. I'm gonna show y'all something else. Damn, I can't. Hold on, get rid of that. Okay. Let me put this over here. This is a t-shirt too, y'all. Look. I be in here just creating. Y'all see this? Oh boy, I be wearing that t-shirt real carefully. I wear that one real carefully. You got the hat being thrown up in the air. You got Harriet Tubman and her peeps rolling up saying you rang. The doc. Boy, I'll tell you. Them damn memes that they had for that Alabama broad, that shit was hilarious. That got me through the day for real. But yeah, so in the end of the day, I don't want to prolong it. We've been on 2 hours. This whole Jermell Charlo situation. I see the play. Like he's in. They setting him up to be a win-win. It's his to lose. They throwing him to the wolves, but at the same time, he could come back and win. They took his belt from him, so currently he's not undisputed. But if he wins with Canelo, come back down and fight Tim Tszyu and get his belt back, or if Bud fought Tim Tszyu and got his belt, then wouldn't that be the third time undisputed? Technically, because currently he's not undisputed at 154. All he had to do is go back and get the WBO belt. They're not saying he can't come back and get it. If Bud gets that belt off Tim Tszyu, then Bud is definitely making a beeline to Charlo. Tim Tszyu may wait Charlo out. And don't be pressed, because Tim Tszyu can make a lot of noise with just one belt. But it's set up lovely for Charlo. That's the play. PBC ain't slick. They took some lemons and they made some lemonade. I ain't even gonna front. They took some lemons and they made lemonade on this one. And that's why Jermell probably ain't even all that much upset. Because guess what? What better fight than to have two black fighters going up against each other, and the winner of that fight will have won undisputed for the third time in one career. We know Clarissa Shields has done it, but no man has done it twice, and Bud has now did it. You had Inoue on the verge of doing it. You had Canelo a few months or a year or so back trying to do it. Remember when he was trying to go to Bivol and then go to that cruiserweight? Canelo was trying to do it. Ever since Clarissa did it, don't think these niggas ain't been thinking shit. Come on now, these girls doing it. We got to do it. It has never been done. And then Bud Crawford For all y'all shitting on him, for all y'all doing whatever, he did it. You can never take that away. He's the first man to do it. Now, is it possible that one man in his one career can do it 3 times? They just set Jermell Charlo up for to be able to do that. If you paying attention. If you paying attention. I think Al Heyman is going to get Spence that Zoo fight and set up the Bud Spence rematch at 154 for the WBO belt. You know what? Al Heyman could try, but Bud has leverage over that. Bud has leverage over that. And I think Earl Spence can't do anything until he do this rematch. And y'all, he has not activated. I know people keep saying he did, because he's what he say out his mouth and what he put in writing, he didn't put it in writing. It's not activated. It is not activated. And people, you don't have to believe me. I don't care if you believe me, whomever. I don't care if y'all out there don't believe me. I know what I'm hearing. I know what I see. He has not done it. I'm not saying he can't do it. He got time. I'm saying right now, today, he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it. And he got a time limit on that. I ain't rushing him. I ain't rushing him. But while he's in this zone of trying, because if he even tries to ask for Tim Tszyu fight, he ain't gonna get it. He got to get in line. Think about it. He's coming up there a no champion. What makes Tim Tszyu feel obligated to fight him? How does he cut the line over everybody to fight him? And if he tries it, it would instantly be known. And Bud can turn right around and say, wait a minute. I need you to run me that fight. Bud can do that. And they will have to oblige. Because remember, Bud is a super champion. If y'all go back and look at the beginning of this show, I read the WBO rules for a reason, to show y'all how they get down. Bud has a more legitimate claim than Earl Spence to fight for that belt. And he will. Bud is saying, if old boy wants a rematch, cool, I'm ready. Let's get it. But he can't make Earl want it. If Earl don't do it, Bud moving on. Yeah, Bud has priority because he has the 147 belts. Indeed. And he's a super champion. Nobody would come before Bud. If Tim Tszyu goes into a contract with somebody else, maybe Tim Tszyu trying to wait to see what the Canelo and Charlo fight gonna be. If Canelo washed Charlo and beat him down real good, Charlo is running back to 154. He got to be the man somewhere. He coming back. His pride gonna make him come back. Tim Tszyu really wants to fight him. I believe Tim Tszyu believes in his heart that he could beat Charlo, and Charlo believes that Tim Tszyu is he either underestimated him or he really do believe he can wash him too. But I don't think Tim Tszyu underestimated Charlo. I think he really believes he can beat him. That don't mean he can, but I think he believes he can. And Tim Tszyu is that type of fighter. He ain't ducking no smoke. So if Charlo and Canelo get caught up in the long ass wait for a rematch and Tim Tszyu got the belt, Bud can go fight Tim Tszyu and get that belt. I guarantee you, if they fight again, and let's say whether Jermell wins or not on his rematch with Canelo, Jermell gonna drop them belts. He ain't coming back. If he do a rematch with Canelo, he not coming back. Guarantee he ain't coming back. I would say that he got like a 70-30% chance. Like I'm meaning like 40-30% he's coming back after the first fight with Canelo. That's how I see it. If he loses, he's definitely coming back. If he wins, I don't know. If you had to guess who's Bud's next 3 fights, Well, we know it's supposed to be Earl for the rematch. We just don't know what Earl gonna do until we do. And then it's gonna be Charlo. Bud may defend the belts one time. Um, he already said he would fight Tank. He not taking it serious. Let me be clear. He said if Tank want it, come get it. He absolutely is not taking Tank seriously. He not even pressed for Tank. It won't be nothing he initiate. But if Tank want it, he can come get it. That could be 3 fights right there. I think Tank will be making a big mistake. I think Boost need to chill. Like, Boost, them belts about to be all yours. All you gotta do is sit there and wait and catch that bitch. They're about to be all yours. And I know you don't want to fight Terrence because you had 2 opportunities to fight him and you didn't. You had an opportunity when BLK came calling, and you had an opportunity to get the fight before Sean Porter did, and you didn't. You left. Again, I just read y'all the rules about how they rank. How if your mandatory and your defense of your title got to be with somebody within their rankings, the top 15. You was number 2. You left. That just tells me you rather, whether it's you didn't want Bud, you was scared, you was ducking, whatever the case, we can say it like this. You rather Earl than Bud. That's all. He said, I don't care what anyone says. That Tank fight at 147 is a mega pay-per-view. But Bud won't get credit for the win, though. But I just want him to get paid. He don't have anything else to prove. And I think Bud is on his kiss goodbye, too. So you got Canelo on his kiss goodbye. You got Earl definitely was on his kiss goodbye. I think Charlo on his kiss goodbye. Because if y'all remember correctly, this is how far back I followed Charlo. This is when I was fans of this. Jermell Charlo said a long time ago when he was in his early 20s, he only wanted to fight to 27, 28, and then he done. He wants to be an actor. He wants to do other things. I bet you a lot of people don't remember that shit. And he said that shit. And the whole time I've been sitting here like, you must have changed your mind. Not that that's a bad thing. He said that so many years ago. Now he's in their mid-30s. I'm telling y'all, when y'all hit 30, your body just goes, breaks down. It is what it is. And Father Time waits for no one. Father Time is motherfucking undefeated. But anywho, I'm gonna close it right there. Thanks, Joe, for coming in. Thanks for getting the shirt. Thanks for everybody that's buying the shirt. Thank you. If you ever see the shirts saying out of stock or something like that, shoot me an email. I should check them every day, but it's not out of stock. I made sure it was plenty. And so I don't know why it keep doing that on that page. But yeah, and they reasonably priced. You know, get you some shirts, get you a couple of t-shirts. It's almost back to school. Get your kids some shirts. Got some good shirts for that too. I got a lot of nice gadgets. Got the little printer for your little college student, the handheld printer. Man, go on and cop that shit. My neighbor bought one. I got one, man. I like that thing because it's a printer for my phone. I take it with me. It's in my purse. It's a printer for my phone. So sometimes if you're in class, I'm not in school anymore, but if you're in school and you can't keep up with taking notes and shit, you can take a picture, hit print, and then print out. And the paper has adhesive on it so you can tape it in your notebook, ensuring that you take good notes. Hey, man, it's a good buy. Then I got the spy cameras. What? I found out who was the phantom pooper in my house between my dogs. They don't stay here no more. They be making me sick, man. I was highly allergic to them, but I found out who it was. It was my boy dog, and I kept blaming the girl dog. But yeah, Joe, hopefully you catch the next one. To everybody else, thanks for listening or whatever. I am busy, and I apologize. I have a lot of stuff in my business. I'm also trying to move and I have a big house to pack up. So it's not anybody's fault. I ain't whining, but I'm gonna get through it. And look, I'm too damn cheap to hire somebody to come in here and pack out. It ain't like the military; they come in and pack your shit out in a couple of hours. I ain't got that kind of money. I don't want to spend that kind of money. See, so I'm one by one packing every motherfucking thing. So sometimes I be tired or whatever when it's time to get on. But anywho, thank y'all for listening. And when you know better, you do better. You know what I'm saying? In my Pamela James voice. Peace.